On behalf of my Tony, Carol, Dan, Collette and myself, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today and for helping us celebrate this lovely occasion. I've known Collette for quite a while. She's known me for quite a while. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Austin, which is a strange name.
I like Ralph,
Strange as well. Same as my nephew Austin over there. Way. And it's traditional for the bride's father to thank everybody, the bridesmaids and everybody, but I think that the best men will also touch upon that. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over the microphone to the groom to do his play. Thank you very much.
Dan, you've got 10 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. Austin, thank you for your kind words, they were really nice. Here we go, Oh, can you hear me? Right, here we go. On behalf of myself and my wife. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming. You've made our day so special. It's been very kind to us. Oh, going in now, going in. Sorted.
Who's on the sweepstake?
As I'm sure you can all agree, the place looks amazing. And the Ashes have done an amazing place to make it look fantastic as well. Right, a lot of thank yous. So I'm going to start with this man here and this lady here, because they have not only been like mother and father to me since I met Collette, they've also put me up in their house. They've unfortunately let me flood their house as well, as I've messed with the toilet and flooded their house. They let me overrun and basically download a lot of things on the internet, which overdid their entry. They've had bailiffs knocking at the door as soon as they found out I was living with them. And still they let me marry their daughter. And on a serious note, they've raised a girl who's been basically a strong, powerful woman, and they've done an amazing job because they show me how good it is to be in love at a later age. When I met them as well, when I met Collette, they celebrated their 30th year of marriage, and it just showed you how immense it is, and they're still going strong, they still banter with each other, and it's quality, and it shows you that we've got all that to come, and it just makes me happy, and that's a good thing. And on behalf of that as well, they've also helped a massive lot with the wedding. And just all I want to do is just raise a glass to Angela and Austin for being amazing in-laws for me, amazing mother and father. Oh my God, I'm so hard. Right, and we'll come on to my family. My family, love you all. You've been my best men. Your best men have sorted out my stag do, who have been immense, the best stag do you could ever possibly have. I dressed up in a skirt like Collette, in a dress like Collette, and you can see her pressure today when she was walking across the grass. She had to lift her skirt, and I had that issue as well. Especially when it was raining. I felt a pain, and I thought, you know what, I've been there. I'd always like to be a princess. And she does look like an amazing princess. She looks a billion times better than I did, obviously. Of course. But she had that issue. My father, love you. Love you loads. You've done all you can for me. You've raised me well. You've obviously raised me enough to find an amazing one like this. You know that space. You've always had me out here. You're fantastic. I love you. But there's also some more thank yous I want to say. I'm going to let my wife speak first. No, she doesn't.
So, as Dan's already mentioned, our mums, dads, thank you so much. You helped us both so much. So, flowers here, one more.
She's a professional, she knows how to organise. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Errol. We'd also like to pay thanks to my Auntie Marie, who's done such a wonderful job with the cakes. Thank you so much. Not only one wedding cake, but 2 wedding cakes, plus all the cakes that you had on arrival today. Yep. To my Auntie Sally, for all your help and all the arts and crafts and getting things ready. And to my Auntie Margaret as well, who's also helped with all our preparations. Look absolutely amazing. My maid of honour Vicky, who was
Share it for the Vixter.
T-dog. Where my T-dog at?
Thank you.
We've got 2 lovely little groomsmen hanging around somewhere. One of them, we've only just got his cast off the other day. That's for Rory.
Yeah, the boys. Yeah, he's kicked out. Yeah. Shares his life.
The best bridal assistant.
Good.
We love you so much. And this would have all happened without you today. We love you so much.
That's a normality, eh? Now, out of all that, eh? Obviously, I'm going to bring it down a tone now. I do apologise, I'm going to bring it down a tone now. There are people that could not be here today. And I think a lot of you know that we were at Ashby Church today. And there's quite a lot of symbolism in that. Obviously, it's such a beautiful church. And when Collette saw it, when I was trying to obviously force her to get married there, said, just get married here. She said, yeah, but we've got family tradition. Your family don't. Look at this church, it's amazing. She actually thought to herself, you know what, yeah, it's a beautiful church, but there's obviously some other symbolisation behind it as well. 22 years ago, my mum passed away, and obviously she had massive influence on all of myself and my brother's lives. She couldn't be at my brother's weddings, she unfortunately couldn't be at my wedding either, but I fully know she's looking down on us and giving us the weather she's giving us today. I know she'd be fully proud of the fact that I married this girl here. She's nuts. There's obviously grandparents that can be here today as well. There's also Angela's mother, who I had the fortune of spending Christmas with as well a few times ago, and I also made a really good drink. I can't remember the name of the drink. Just rum with sugar in it. And I made it better than anybody, which is just quality. And I think, obviously, with all these people that can't make it, I want obviously just to raise a glass and celebrate to absent friends. Absent friends. And this will be the final thing I'm going to talk about now. So if this speech is going a bit longer, then maybe some people are going to be able to...
Keep it going, Dan. Keep it going.
I said a few more words, I can do it right now. Like words, and the people have to drink to them words. If you're doing a speech to people properly, then people will be drunk by now, but not. Collette Parsons, who I met in Didsbury and O'Neill's. It must have been a magic thing, because I'd just been spending the week before a magical wedding at my friend over there, Sarah and Andrew Masters, that I'd seen the magic of what marriage would be. And I walked into a bar in O'Neill's, which a lot of people will know here because we've had Sunday sessions in there. It's an Irish bar, we know where to drink, we know how to drink it. And I met this girl, she's walking past, I thought, oh, you're alright. So I thought I'd tell her, you're fit. And not only did I tell her she was fit, I also said to her, I think we should get married. And there we obviously went from there forth onwards, and today is real. So obviously, I knew this was going to happen, and I must have seen it coming. But also to know that when I got a 2-for-1 deal.
Sorry?
I got a 2-for-1 deal. I had this little girl here, and this little girl here has got an amazing personality, which has given me, obviously, experience of being a father going forward. She loves football, unfortunately she loves City. Which I'm sure splits a lot of the room as well. But the fact that she's got passion for it, the fact that she wants to play football, the fact that she looks amazing in the suit that she looks like you today, makes me proud as well. It makes her mum proud, it makes all the family proud. So, I want to raise a toast to Collette and Lola. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over to my best man to give me some proper stuff. The Chuckle Brothers and Chris Royal, my brother from another mother. Let's have it. Thank you all so much again. Thank you so much.
I have to be honest with you. Hello, sorry, good afternoon everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Mark. I'm Dan's eldest brother. A lot older than Daniel. Hello! This is going to go much longer than you will go on for after that. Okay? Austin undercooked it. Dan's now padded it out a little bit more. However, I don't know how to follow that because A, Dan was very self-deprecating in his little speech there. He's taken out half of my material. Okay? So I'm going to have to pad that out. Thank you, Dan. However, positively, you've given me the inspiration to try and do better. And I'm sure that my fellow best man will rise to that as well. Yeah, the second reason is, of course, you know, when Dan said, you've got a microphone, I thought, oh, okay, that can be one of two things. Either, number one, there's going to be a lot of people there. Or number two, you're expecting me to tell some jokes. Obviously, there are a lot of people here. And I will be telling some jokes. And do you know what? The only two people I can ever remember laughing at all my jokes are Phil and Joanne. Where are you, Joanne? There you go. Right. Now, if anybody else wants to join this exclusive club, then you can laugh at my jokes, okay? Which would help if the microphone worked for a start, but yeah, you're more than welcome to join that exclusive club, and I'll tell you when the jokes are coming, and I'll tell you when they've finished, just in case there's a confusion, okay? So, yeah, first things first. This is a very, very special day. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Strictly Come Dancing starts tonight. I'm only joking. That was a joke. You know, the joke thing I said I was going to do, that was one of them. Okay, just to clarify that. Well, no, it starts tonight, actually.
One of the excommunicator over there knows.
Okay. 9 o'clock tonight, thanks, Chris. Thank you very much. So, we've had a little bit of malaise, although we've obviously had some very good warm-up from Austin and Dan there with, you know, more inspiration I thought was going to come out, and okay, I'm going to do this anyway. I'd like to have an interactive session, okay? Now, don't get too excited, all right? I'm not all going to get you to stand up and explain your inner secrets, where the secret to two is that your other half didn't know that you had, or any of that. All I'm going to do is do a couple of show of hands, okay? Just to get the blood flowing across in your bodies. First things first. Who has ever heard Daniel sing Mustang Sally in karaoke? Okay, quite a few people. Okay. For those of you that haven't heard Daniel singing Mustang Sally, I think you're for a bit of a treat later, I expect. If you want to borrow some earplugs, I've got plenty. There's a little bit of earwax on some of them, but what's a little bit of earwax between friends? So, you know, hey ho. Second show of hands. Has anybody heard Collette sing Mustang Sally? Vicky? Okay. Sounds like there's a challenge there, Collette. Third question. Has anybody heard both Collette and Dan sing a duet, Summer Lovin'? Very famous because Daniel sang it at the Gang Show a long time ago. Danny Zuko, here? What about your speech? Okay, well he's taking half of mine, I'm taking half of yours. Back at you. So, anyway, so the challenges just keep coming. That's all I can say. Summer lovin'. Summer lovin'. I won't sing it. So, right, that's that bit. I'm now going to go into the boring etiquette bit, of which Daniel's needs half of my speech, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, I have to warn you, okay, from time to time, I can get very emotional, okay? And I'd just like to have your excuse in advance, because there's people in the room, is hear that line? Okay, don't go any audience. Okay, so even the stag do, those over there, remember that I burst into tears watching the charlatans in a field, soaking wet, lycra clad, as a Power Ranger.
I think we're all crying.
Thank you. Who said that? Did you see it? You weren't there? Okay. I had a bit too much to drink. It was my little brother's stag do. And all of that kind of, most of the day, the sun came out of the clouds, and it all kind of, all happened. There you go. So, it was a great day. I'd just like to thank all the lads who are on the stag do. Show your hands, all the lads who are on the stag do.
Stand up.
Stand up. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I don't recognise all of you. But anyway, I was the Power Ranger, but anyway. So yeah, just like to say a thank you because you all got in the spirit, you all did fantastic fancy dress, you were all game for a laugh. And I think we all gave Dan a very good send-off, and we all did, well, let's put it this way, we didn't do anything that prevented him from being here today. Correct?
No.
So, I'd also like to thank Neil. Most of the organisation for the stag do. He bought the tickets. He basically was dad for a period of 6 months. So, you know, Neil, well done. Thank you very much. I was 1,000 miles away. You know, Neil, you did a fantastic job. Anyway. I'm only really the starter pack. I'm the warm-up pack for this speech marathon that will last less than 20 minutes. Although I'm not sure where we're up to at the moment. By the way, there's a sweepstake going on here. For those that,
5 different tables.
Yeah, really? Okay, it might be longer than 20 minutes where we're going. But hey ho, where else are we going to go tonight? So, I'd just like to say, you know, although I'm going to be the etiquette guy, the guy who's going to be the funny guys. We haven't put much effort into our speeches. We put about as much, there's a joke coming by the way, we put about as much effort into our speeches as Dan puts in effort in eating salad. Alright? Thank you very much. You've just joined my exclusive club, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for that. So, on behalf of the other best men, I'd also firstly like to thank Dan for asking us to be best men. As you know, Dan is everybody's mate. He's a very gregarious character. Crikey. Sound like Mickey Mouse. He's a popular guy. It's genuinely a real honour that we were even chosen to be best men, given the choice that we had. And I'm not saying we're decisive, Dan, but you've got 3 best men. And there's a little bit of overlap, to be fair, but there you go. He did say he's chosen us in honour of his favourite film, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Now, I'll let you make up your mind which one's which, but it's no coincidence. I'm going first. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that. That was a joke, by the way. And you just joined my exclusive club. So, this has already been done, but I've got it in my script, so I'm going to do it anyway. I'd like to thank the bridesmaids. Great honour. What a fantastic job. And I'm sure you'll all agree they all look fantastic. And they carried out their duty in an exemplary manner. I would now officially like to tell you that you are now released of your duties to go and enjoy yourself, but please don't drink too much. Vicky, you can drink as much as you want. It's the rest, really. that I'm worried about, especially my girls, especially Thea and Ruby. Anyway, so I'd also like to say, on behalf of the other best men and the bridesmaids, because who were officially and the groomsmen, Brian, Golly, Pat, and Rory, I'd like to thank Andrew and Austin as well, because I think you've put all this together and you've allowed Dan to marry a lovely daughter Collette, and you've had to put up with, you've accepted Dan like a son, and for that I am eternally grateful. That didn't sound very sincere, but it was. I'm sure you'll all agree that the new Mrs. Parsons, Collette, looks amazing. This is the emotional bit where I need to keep it together. Thank you for making Daniel the happiest I've ever seen him. For a long time, well, ever. That's pretty long. Please look after him. Please keep him well fed. And make sure he always has a warm coat, because that is what his nan would have wanted. Right, July again. Neil. And I'd also like to extend that thanks to Lola. Where do you go, Lola? I think the three of you make a fantastic family. And it's an honour and a pleasure to welcome you, Collette, Austin, Angela, and your extended family into our family. And thank you very much. And God knows what you're letting yourself in for, by the way. But thank you. God bless you.
Back to yours, Matt.
I'd like to raise a toast to the bride and groom as well. So, to the bride and groom, thank you very much. Are we doing on time? Zakynthos. Are we doing on Zakynthos? You lost. Oh wait, you lost, have you? I'm sorry. I do apologise. Now, Dan's nicked this one as well. Every wedding day, the bride rightly gets to feel like a princess. And funnily enough, she's not the only one who looks good in her dress. Right, lads? Dan got to feel like a princess on a stag do weekend by being dressed up like a princess. Now, he didn't really humiliate him at all. In fact, he was the centre of attention. The thing is, he wore it on the first day when we were all in fancy dress, and do you know what he said? He says, do you know what? I quite fancy wearing it the second day. So he wore it on the second day. And, yeah, now, all I would say on that is, Collette, when you go out at night, lock your wardrobe. Now, almost finished, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? Now, I would like to finish. I would like to. Okay. Feedback? I would like to finish off by saying that I know Mum is looking down on you today, full of pride. The same pride that Dad, Neil and I feel. I would also like to thank you and Collette for giving us a happy memory of Asbury. For a change.
Come on, lad.
Anyway, please enjoy what's left of your day and the evening. And I will from this point onwards now. I'll leave that in, even though it's in my script. And I would like to hand you over to the middle best man. The comedy gets better from this point. No pressure, lads. Neil.
Right, well, I'd just like to thank Mark first and foremost for that little hand grenade. Yeah, just thrown at me. It's a nice speech. So this keeps cutting out, doesn't it? Can you hear me okay?
Sorry?
Hear me over there?
What?
Can you get me a pint in for me then? Yeah, cheers. So, ladies and gentlemen, bride and groom, boys and girls. So I'm the middle brother, Neil, and I now will take you on a journey through Dan's youth. 3 brothers growing up at home together, you hear that? 3 brothers growing up at home together can be quite competitive. Mark and I had already established the pecking order before Daniel was born. It went something like this. I would look at Mark, and he'd hit me. I'd speak to Mark, and he'd hit me. I'd stay out of his way, and he'd still hit me. So, when Dan was born, this gave me mixed emotions, because on one hand, I was no longer the youngest in the family, about to miss out on a lot of love and attention. But on the other hand, I had someone to hit. I used to hit Dan a lot. Yes. Hello? Right. Probably through jealousy, actually, because Dan was always a popular, fun-loving little boy, and he had millions of friends, and I had none. So, however, though, he would admit that he wasn't the most academically gifted. Because I remember one school report said that Daniel doesn't come to school for work, he comes for the social life. But that is Daniel. Social is his middle name. It's actually Christopher. And do you remember you once wanted to change it to Jodrellbank? Anyway, another name you could give.
Beautiful place.
Not a great middle name though, is it? Right, another name you could give Dan would be the Golden Boy. Because at home, Dan would get away with murder. When he was about 8 years old, I was learning to drive. And from the back seat of the car, Dan asked me what the handbrake did. So I innocently showed him that releasing the handbrake made the car move. The very next day, Dan found my mum's car unlocked on our driveway, which happened to be quite sloped. He hopped inside, released the handbrake, and the car rolled down the drive into the house with a massive bang. So why is he the Golden Boy? Well, because when Mum and Dad rushed out, they didn't say, "What have you done?" They said, "We showed you how to do that." So, of course, I got the blame, and Dan could care less. I hit him. Ironically, Collette recently described Dan as the most caring man that she'd ever met. We once saw this caring side when we were all living at home together. Mark was ill upstairs in bed with gastric flu, and Dan and I were downstairs in the lounge watching TV. Every time Mark dashed to the toilet to be sick, Dan would look at the lounge door where the sound was coming from and just shake his head. Obviously, you know, in empathy at his brother's suffering. Every time Mark was sick, Dan just shook his head. The final time Mark retched, Dan got up and he walked to the lounge door, obviously to go and check on his brother. Well, he shut the lounge door and he came and he sat down. Turns out all Dan really cares about is TV. Yeah. So it's probably things like this that would lead me to say that we were never the best of friends growing up. But then, 22 years ago, something happened which had a huge impact on our lives and brought us much closer together. Dan got FIFA 93.
Oh, brilliant.
We played this together for hours, and it certainly helps us through a difficult time in our lives. So now that we were getting on better, it was a bit of a wrench when Dan got a summer job in Italy with Euro Camp. His role there was to run the kids club, which he absolutely loved, and to clean the chalets, which he absolutely hated. You see, cleaning was completely alien to Dan. As with all domestic chores, it was always done for him, but he gave it his best shot. And I like to think that he went to Italy a boy who couldn't look after himself, and he came back a man who still couldn't look after himself. Not long after this, Dan came to live with Phil and I for a year. But it was actually only a month, it just felt like a year. Even though Dan was probably about 19 at the time, he still believed in fairies. These fairies would pick up the wet towel in the bathroom floor. They'd put his plates in the dishwasher and they would do all his washing. You see, back then, Dan wasn't house trained, and I'm hoping for Colette's sake, he's much better now, apparently not. But aside from this, Dan was developing into a really nice lad, and he was a pleasure to have around. He's got a great sense of humour, a big heart, and not a bad bone in his body. Even if he did drink all my beer. Now, Dan, I'm going to say some nice things about you now, so you can relax. Even though Dan left school with more pens than GCSEs, this never held him back in getting a job. If Dan got an interview, his personality would always shine through and he would get the job. Even though employment history on his CV lists more companies in the yellow pages, he's doing really well for himself in his current career, which is a testament to his character. Sorry, kids. As we've already discovered, Dan is a caring guy. He is a protector, and he fears nothing. Well, apart from spiders. And not being the centre of attention. Sprouts, salad, obviously. Actually, most food. You'll know Angela, yeah. Domestic chores we've got. Oh, yeah, there you go. Number 78 on the list of things that Dan fears the most is the morphine tube. I'll let you explain that one later. Despite all Dan's fears, I'm sure that he will keep Collette and Lola safe, happy and loved for the rest of his life. Now, here is a couple who were made for each other. Collette is such a lovely person and a stunning looking girl. Punching above your weight that day. She's made Dan the happiest I think we've ever seen him. We're delighted and proud to call her our sister-in-law. And our children are smitten with having the fantastic little Lola as their cousin.
Hey.
Dan, I just want to echo Mark's words and say that you've made us all very proud today, and it was an honour to stand next to you at the altar. Now, I just want to end by saying that when two families who support rival football teams join together, you always fear that there are going to be tensions. Not so. We've always found Colette's family to be really warm and welcoming. And we get on really well with Angela and
Sienna likes Newcastle.
But despite the fact that Angela supports the wrong team, Now, even though Dan supports United, you've got tissue all over your face, by the way. Even though Dan supports United, he has promised to respect Lola's choice and bringing her up supporting the wrong team. Well, that is just a measure of Dan the man. Which is a good point to hand you over, speaking of supporting the wrong team as well, to Chris, Dan's final best man.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the last best man and the final obstacle between you and even more odds. I'd like to start by saying how wonderful Collette looks. I know you all agree. The first time I met Collette, I thought, well, what a charming, witty, beautiful young lady. This was tainted ever so slightly later that same evening, following half a bottle of Jack and a call to Huey down the porcelain telephone. Subsequent get-togethers have followed a similar pattern, with baked goods being lobbed over at bars and drunken acts of giddiness. And more recently, a near miss after I set Colette's socks on fire, with her feet still in them. She was cold, and I provided a solution. On a serious note, Collette is clearly a genuine, down-to-earth and fun-loving personality who complements Dan perfectly. Laura is my kind of kid and a testament to Colette's hard-working character. The trouble with being a best man at a wedding is that you never get to prove it. Having duly accepted the honour, I spent a long time wondering how to describe Dan. With the respect due to a man on his wedding day, how to strike the right tone of sincerity, praise and warmth. You see, Dan is a man who truly defies description. I could speak for an hour about him, don't worry, a few more minutes. And when I'd finish, we'd be no closer to grasping the essential essence of my dear friend. Yet, miraculously, he can be very neatly summed up with a single, internationally recognised hand gesture. Tony, you did the very best with what you had. You raised the son, you won the whole you can be proud of, and when he couldn't be a good example to others, he was at least a horrible warning. For those of you who are expecting outrageous stories about Dan's past, I can only apologise. The truth is, I was obviously with him, and I would not incriminate myself. One story I would like to share is one of our very first proper lads' holiday. We decided on a week abroad, 7 days of hardcore drinking, night clubbing, the lot. So, we chose the sleepy, idyllic, romantic island of Kefalonia, which had one lake bar, and we got barred from it. And on this trip, we were known as the gay couple from Manchester.
You got two gays there. You too gay, you are.
Our apartment block was very basic. No reception, just had a key hanging out of the apartment door for awaiting guests. After a very heavy drinking session, I awoke this particular morning, obviously in state.
23 hours.
23 hours? I thought it was 36.
36 drinking hours.
When I woke, I looked over to my mate's bed, only to find him not there. I thought, this is strange. He must have been in the back room, so I just went back to sleep. I awoke a little while later, looked over, still no Dan. Surely he's gone for breakfast, legend. I went back to sleep, and I was awoken again sometime later to the most frantic banging on the door. I'd like to add that our apartment door was about 4 feet away from a busy main road. So I jumped out of bed in a panic. I opened the door to what I can only describe as a dishevelled mess of a Dan, looking like a scared rabbit in headlights, wearing nothing but a pair of boxer shorts, and holding a key. I said, mate, what the And all he had to say was, mate, did you put me in room 3? Say walking Parsons. Dan has been a consistent presence throughout my adult life, and I will go to the ends of the earth for him, as he would for me. And he has done on many occasions. It's rare to find a friend who would literally drop anything to come to your aid multiple times, especially when there has never actually been a genuine emergency. There has, however, been several drunken scrapes, altercations with the fairer sex, and even one incident where I was stranded on a motorway without a car. No asking. Whilst Dan will always be the loudest man in the room, I'd hedge my bets that he's also the most loyal. What more could you ask for in a best mate? I'd like to take this opportunity to applaud Dan for his consistent performance in his 17-year audition to become my best mate. Well done, pal. Today really has been wonderful for many reasons. Above all, it's been wonderful because it's felt so natural. Today really has been... Oh, sorry. Not where I was. I was in the bathroom again. Today really has been wonderful for many reasons. Above all, it's been wonderful because it's felt so natural. I couldn't tell you the point I knew Collette was the one for Dan, and I think that speaks volumes. Her being part of Dan's life has been constant and has never been questioned. Never did we think if they would get married, but when. And I'm certain that their love for each other is strong and it will last. Love is a language spoken by everyone, but understood only by the heart. It's a song that never ends. It's not about finding the person you can live with, it's about finding the person you can't live without. My friend Dan has now found that person. When I asked Dan and Collette to stand and look at each other, everyone here is so happy that you found each other, and even happier that today you took the next step along the path of love. As you stand here together, please never forget this. You are now gazing at the person who, statistically speaking, is most likely to murder you. And with that, could I ask everyone else to stand and raise your glasses? Mr. and Mrs. Parsons.